Geopolitics, religion, and ethnicity have long played a part in Nigerian politics before the country gained its independence in 1960. But as the next election approaches, the clamor for the zoning of the presidency has intensified. President Muhammadu Buhari, who is from the northwestern state of Katsina, has been in power for close to 7 years and will complete his 2 terms of 4 years next year. As his term draws to an end, there are calls for a power shift to the south. While the principle of zoning is not enshrined in the constitution, many see it as a pragmatic response to nation building. It is designed to ensure that neither the north nor the south of the country is ever permanently excluded from power. Based on this principle, agitators for power shift say it's only fair for Nigeria's next president to come from anywhere other than the north. But the North Central People's Forum, a group of northern leaders and elders, has stoked controversy by calling the notion of zoning needless and unconstitutional. The group says competence should be the guiding principle in the choice of who succeeds Buhari. The forum says it will continue dialogue with other zones to ensure that a North Central person becomes the next president, as the zone is yet to produce a democratically elected president. Well, I have members of the North Central People's Forum with me in the studio. Khaleel Bolaji is the Secretary General of the North Central People's Forum and a member of the National Institute. And Sule Dikeson, the former honorable member of the Benue State House of Assembly and the Forum's Publicity Secretary. Gentlemen, good to have you on the show. And I start with you, Khaleel Bolaji. I mean, a lot of Nigerians want to wonder why the North Central, who you represent, are out to stop the South from enjoying its own share of the 80 years that is supposed to be guaranteed to it, if we're to go by Nigeria's political playbook.
We are not stopping anybody. This is democracy. We are only saying what is right. Anybody from any part of Nigeria can be president of this country. But specifically, North Central People's Forum, we are saying that we have not enjoyed the presidency. But that's not to say we are jettisoning competency, capability. All zones of Nigeria have got one man or one woman or women and men that are very capable to be president of this country. So what we are saying in effect is that if other zones are saying, you have said it now, Northwest is just finishing 8 years, they've been there, Yaradua was there, you know, and all like that. Obasanjo was there, you know. So we're saying North Central with no presidency, no president of Nigeria, no vice president has ever come from this zone. And we believe we're part of this country. And that's all we're saying. We're not stopping any zone. You present our agenda, then we're presenting ours.
And just before I come to Dikeson, I mean, one will wonder when they hear your name, Khaleel Bolaji, you're like a mixture of both the North and the South. And you're from Kwara State, which is like the melting point between both. But a lot of Nigerians will want to question if indeed, right in your heart, you believe that it's not the turn of the South, considering how we've been playing this political game since 1999.
Well, you see, let me say this very clearly. You see, my name, Khaleel Bolaji. In North Central, we've got about 250 ethnic nationalities or groups in this zone. In fact, some part of Benue, you can regard them as Igbos because of the proximity. Exactly, and they speak the language.
Proximity, they also speak the language.
So what I'm saying is that if it's Hausa, if it's Fulani, if it is Yoruba, you know, you have them here. If it is Igbo, you have them here in North Central. So there is no place that Nigeria as a zone like North Central. And that's the truth. We are not exaggerating anything. Now, you see my name Bolaji, I'm a Yoruba man. I'm proud to be a Yoruba man, and I'm proud to be part of North Central. I'm the Secretary General for that matter. Anyway, so what I'm saying, and this is not our own creation. We made it like this. I mean, my brothers from the Southwest, they're my brothers. We speak same language, but I always tell them I'm from the north of Nigeria.
Geographically.
Geographically.
Interesting indeed.
And that's it. And so the real Nigeria is North Central because you have everything here.
All right, interesting. And then I'll come to you, Dikeson. this has been a lot of, this has brought a lot of emotional issues. You are canvassing for the North Central to have it because you have said since 1960 we haven't really had a democratically elected president from North Central. But a lot of people would disagree with you that we've had military heads of state from the North Central. When you talk of Yakubu Gowon, you talk of Ibrahim Babangida, and then you talk of Abdusalami Abubakar. When you put the number of years spent in power by these three elder statesmen, do you, in all honesty, think it's right for the North Central to still seek the presidency?
Yes, I think, thank you for the question. We have forgotten history. That no zone in this country that has not produced a military government. Agwironsi is from the southeast. From the southeast. We have Obasanjo from the southwest. We have Muritala from the northwest. And we have our own Babangida and Abu Salam and Gowon from the north central. So
you haven't mentioned the northeast, although the northeast hasn't had one.
The northeast haven't had a military president, but they have a vice president. And they have a leader of the north, which was Tafa Balewa from the northeast. So if you put all these things together, and if they are jettisoning those positions on their own side and counting on our own, then they are not fair to us. If you are counting who have ruled this country before, you take it from since we gained independence.
Whether military or civilian.
Whether military or civilian. And you look at that. Now, if you come to, since the inception of democracy in 1999 to today, yes, the Southwest had it, the Northwest have had it on several occasions, then the South-South have had it, good Lord Jonathan, then it is now, you see, as my Secretary General said, the North Central is the joining point of this country. And we look at it, despite that you said they are bringing chairman, all the chairmen of the parties, or the major parties are coming from the North Central. It is not our own making. It's because they find competent in us. They find competent in our people that yes, if you trust a North Central with a position, definitely he's going to do better.
Okay, and I come to you. Don't you think that the Southeast call for this presidency to be zoned to the South and then to the Southeast is a call that should be given huge consideration by other parts of the country?
Well, you see, game of power is not where you sit down and say, it's for me. You have to work for it. Let the Southeast work for it. When Abiola was campaigning, he was accepted by all Nigerians, even though we had what we call 2 tickets of president and vice president going to the Muslim. Nobody looked at that. So what I'm saying is that it is your work that will work for you. For me, anybody that wants to be president of this country, as an individual, irrespective of the zone, should go out and work. So if they zone it to the South, for example, if a party, we are not partisan in this respect, if a particular party zone it to the South, well, I'm sure they will not say South is so produce somebody. It's not done that way. That's not democracy. Maybe the 3 South zones, Southern zone, we want to go for it, and they will look for the best that Nigerian can accept. Even though I believe in competency, not this zoning thing, I mean, should be played down on, you know, yes, take it into consideration, but you cannot just bring anybody. You have to bring
but why is it that when it comes to the turn of the South, that's when the North keeps saying that, look, it's time for merit?
No.
Okay, you want to answer that question. Let's hear your response.
You say, when it comes to the tone of South, remember, we got the democracy come in 1999. Now, Obasanjo spent 8 years. Then Jonathan took over. 2 years later, Jonathan died.
No,
Yar'Adua died. Now it went back to Jonathan, who spent 6 years. 6 plus 8.
Well, not necessarily. He
No,
actually...
6 plus 8, you make it 14. Let me make my point. Now, Yar'Adua spent 2 years. Buhari is spending 10 years. I mean 8 years.
8 years.
That is making 10. If you want equity, if you do 14, I should do 14. You understand? That is equity, justice, and fairness. Then we are on equal status. But when you have more, you spend more years than me in the throne, and you still want more, and I continue to...
Yeah, but we actually had what some people have described as a natural accident, which led to the doctrine of necessity. But should we continue from that path?
You see, we believe in one thing. We, the North Central, believe in one thing. Our people are campaigning. They want to be president. But there is a clause. We want somebody who believes in this country. We want somebody who will do justice, equity, and fairness to all Nigerians. All Nigerians. By regarding every Nigerian as one entity. No Nigerian is more than another. Once we have that, and we have somebody who can do that, then let it go.
And a lot of Nigerians will actually wonder why the major political parties seem to be inching towards handing over their national party leadership to the North Central. We have your chair. Are you in the PDP already from the North Central?
Yes.
And we hear that there are plans to make another person in the APC from the North Central. Do you think that if, for example, both political parties have the chairman from North Central, it would be, in good public taste for you to be agitating for the presidency again?
Well, as I say, we're not partisan, but I'm telling you that if at all we still get the president, there's nothing bad in it. We're Nigerians.
Very Nigerians. A lot of Nigerians would disagree with you on that.
Let them disagree, but we're Nigerians.
We have to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. You're still watching the Arise interview. Plenty more still ahead. Welcome back to the Arise interview. I'm Somna Sambo, and we've been taking a critical look at the major issues besetting the Nigerian polity as we head to the 2023 general election. And then we've been discussing this idea of political parties, the major ones trying to have their national chairman from the North Central political zone. And still, with the North Central geopolitical zone also insisting that it's turn to actually produce the next president of Nigeria because it hasn't had any democratically elected president. I still have in the studio with me Khaleel Bolaji, who is the Secretary General of the North Central People's Forum, and Sule Dikeson, the forum's publicity secretary. Thank you, gentlemen. And I will still come to you on that specific issue. Why do you think that the APC and PDP are aiming at ensuring that only the North Central produces their national chairman?
Well, because this is the only zone that is true Nigeria. This is a zone that everybody you think, whichever tribe you belong, is present here. And we have a lot of human resource that are competent and capable to head different parties. That's one. Number two, when Dikeson was mentioning about 14 years of the South, nobody talks about that. Mind you, the demise of the former president Yar'Adua ended at the first 2 years of Jonathan. But he still went for another 4 years. So it's not a matter of necessity. That was deliberate. I even contested 2015, mind you, where he failed. So 14, yeah, fine. But again, you are saying we are more particular about who becomes the president of this country. One. Number two, when you are saying, okay, the two major parties are trying to get their chairman of the party, national party, from North Central.
National chairman from North Central.
It had happened before. When Bello was chairman of PDP, Yar'Adua was president.
Although he was acting chairman.
Oh, whatever. Chairman is chairman as far as we are concerned, because he was having all the powers of a chairman. So what I'm saying is that...
I mean, shouldn't a lot of Nigerians also tell you that a head of state is a head of state, irrespective of whether it's military or civilian? Because if you're to go by this logic now,
yes,
then it means for us to have had Gawan, had Babangida, and then had Abdul Salami, this North Central has had its turn.
I want to ask you, do you believe in military government which is illegal, which all of us know? How can you count this?
But they had presidential powers.
We don't want to know about that because we're not part of it. This is what
you be being unfair to other Nigerians if you say
of
that
course
they should not
fair.
take count of that
because no Nigeria is taking military presidency as legitimate. I want to see that Nigeria to say military government presidency is legitimate, then fine, to him or her. But to us, it's not. We're asking for what? Because this is the only thing we can participate in. Nobody, were you there when they're doing their coup? Nobody. It was a force.
Yeah, so it could have gone, I mean, either north or south. Just like you mentioned, he mentioned earlier on, yes, of Agu Ironsi taking over. There was
in fact, that is his own position. For me, all of them are illegal. They ruled us by force without our intention. For me, I'm not counting them. In fact, we should subtract them from the history of this country.
And you think your message will be well received by other Nigerians?
Well, Democrats, yes, we accept it, my position. Okay. That's the truth.
Very interesting. And I'll come back to you, Dikeson. Considering the likes of Yahya Bello, who's coming out from the APC, like we've heard, he hasn't formally declared, but we hear that he has intention to come out from there. Then you have Bukola Saraki, who intends to come out from the North Central and all of this. Have you had a particular forum where you speak with these gentlemen and then you lay these issues on the table and say, look, gentlemen, we also have to be fair to other parts of the country, or just go ahead with your aspiration?
Well, as we said, we're like a father to all people in the North Central. And we will wait. If any of them come to us and seek for our blessing as an organization representing the whole North Central, we will discuss at the right time, and we'll discuss what we feel is good with them for the interests of the people we are representing.
Do you think a lot of people in the North Central feel marginalized, even in the North? Because if you look at the power equation, that from the total number of years held by the North, the Northwest has had more shot, and the North Central also has had more shot. But generally, when you look at it, people in the North Central tend to feel marginalized politically. So is it only if we hadn't had the military intervention where we had these heads of state from the North Central, do you think that politically you could have had a chance to get votes or support from the other parts of the North?
Yes, I think you're making a point here. We feel marginalized. I think the highest position we hold so far is the Senate President, which was David Mark and Bukola Saraki, and they perform extremely well to the admiration of the whole country. So you see, if not for the military, as you said, wouldn't have had opportunity of becoming president, head of state. But
so how have you been renegotiating politically with the core North, as it's usually called?
Well, we are a member of we belong to the North, and many of our people belong to the Arewa Consultative Forum, which is an organization in charge of the whole North. And we discuss, we are meeting and see how we can promote our own agenda and promote the Northern agenda. Then we can promote the unity of the country, because we have three aims: our own agenda, the Northern agenda, and the unity of the country.
Well, and I'll come to you. When you talk about geopolitics in Nigeria, a lot of persons will tell you that the Southeast and the Northeast actually deserve the 2023 presidency.
Why are they excluding North Central?
Well, I mean, they tell you that.
Or it is you.
No, well, I mean, we are not excluding. I'm just telling you the feelings of Nigerians, because you just can't take away that fact that the North Central has had more shot, but in terms of military governance.
Yes, we don't count
yes,
this.
But in reality, they will tell you that the Northeast has only had a prime minister in Tafawa Balewa, and then a vice president in Atiku Abubakar, that they feel that democratically they should have a presidential slot. And then the Southeast, when you look at the geopolitics from the angle of the three biggest ethnicities that we have, Hausa, Fulani, as we like to call it, then Yoruba, and then Igbo, then they'll tell you that, look, the first two have had their shot, but the last one hasn't had, except for vice presidency of Alex Ekweme. Don't you think that you should give these two regions some fairness, some thought in all of your thinking?
First of all, let the South, the three zones of the South, sort themselves out. We have said it here that Obasanjo used 8 years. Vice President is now using 8 years from Southwest. There's a lot of times still want to be president. Why are people not talking about that? Why are people talking about North Central wanting to be president? Look, let us face the fact. Justice, fair play is what we stand for.
So you think it's unfair of the South to take a shot at the presidency again after 8 years of presidency and 8 years of vice presidency under the Fourth Republic?
They have the right. In democracy, you have the right. What I'm saying, why is the mood of the nation not looking at that? Why just looking at Southeast in any case? I'm not from the South, any part of the South. Let them sort.
You're a Yoruba speaker.
Oh,
you
yeah.
have a sympathy for a Tinubu or an Oshibanjo.
I'm a nationalist.
And the APC gives them their tickets.
I'm a nationalist. I'm not for any either Yoruba or Igbo Hausa. No, I'm for somebody that is competent. That is what I am for.
And what's the advantage of that merit?
The advantage of that merit, Nigeria will move forward for better.
So you think Nigeria is not moving forward at the moment?
Not enough. You know, I know, it's not enough. And are we satisfied with the present Nigeria? The answer is no. In all fronts, in all fronts. You see, we're not, our own interest at North Central is to see, because you see, there is nowhere that is Nigeria that like North Central. None. All the zones. If you go to Southwest, predominant Yoruba. Southeast, predominant Igbo. South, you can count the Ijos, the Shekiris, you can count them. Maybe 4 or 5 of them. Right. If you go to the north, northwest, Hausa Fulani as you call it, northeast, the Hausas, the Fulani and the Kanuris. You right? So, but North Central, do you know late Senator Mantu, from his ward,
former deputy
yes, he said from his ward, they had 8 languages and they don't understand themselves from Plateau. 8 from one ward.
So what can Nigeria, the rest of Nigeria,
what I'm
learn from
saying,
Central?
Exactly. If we can tolerate ourselves in North Central and say we want to be one, that's why this forum comes into being. Because before, they divide and rule us. They said, yes, we have given the North. Which North now? We want to define it. The moment when we say, okay, that's why Dikeson said, we are part of Arewa Council. We are not against, we are part and parcel. Some of us, we are more northerner than some people they think that. But the point is, let's have fair share of everything.
All right. Very interesting conversation. Yeah. Just hold your thoughts there while we go on another short break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Horizon TV, where we speak to the newsmakers as well as ordinary people doing extraordinary things around the world and featuring the voices at the heart of the conversations. I'm Somna Sambo. And we've got with us here Khaleel Bolaji, who is the Secretary General of the North Central People's Forum, and Sule Dikeson, the forum's publicity secretary, and we've been taking a look at Nigeria's geopolitics ahead of the 2023 general election. And I'll come to you, Khaleel. You were making a point there, but quickly, why are you actually stating that zoning has not been helpful to Nigerians, that for the first time Nigeria should be courageous to actually set aside that zoning policy or principle?
Well, I believe zoning divides Nigeria more than making us one Nigeria. Because when you zone specifically, you are saying you are shutting out some credible, nice human being that could have come at that particular time. You know, people, God make people at a particular time. So you may be missing a good Nigerian to rule this country by that zoning.
Don't you think it's an act of injustice if, for example, the North, with its huge political weight, keeps winning the presidency for a long period of time?
Well, as I said, it's one Nigeria that we believe in North Central.
Don't you think that will cause problem to the unity of the country?
Well, but
if we go by that zoning and the North uses its powers and figures to actually keep winning.
But North has not been using that power. If North is to use that power, not would have been perpetually be ruling this country.
And that's why the principle of zoning was introduced by national leaders, by people of thought, leaders of thought in the country.
Zoning within the geopolitical, yes. Yes, we have 3 zones in the north. We have 3 in the south. So we are saying the zoning is fine, but you see, your own zoning is like it has to be south north. No, it has to be rotated between geopolitical if you have to.
So even geopolitical zones.
Yeah, that is the zoning we are talking about here, not the south north.
So
no.
if that's the case, why was it that in 2015 you didn't make the call for the North Central to have the presidency?
This association was not in place. We just, you see, because before now it has always been divide and rule to this zone because of the ethnic nationalities we have. But we now, our elders now come to, let me tell you, all the governors of this zone, they're in line with this forum. Let me tell you, I mean, you can confirm from them. The former military head of state or whatever, former Senate president, their deputies, they are part of this forum.
Very interesting. And I'll come to you, Dikeson. There's been this rift in the North Central between your forum and the Middle Belt Forum. What would you say about of this, that there's a huge level of disunity among leaders in the North Central, and that's why you've not been able to even have a shot at the presidency over the years?
Well, I think there is no disunity between the leaders of the North Central.
But here you have a Middle Belt Forum and then a North Central People's Forum all at the same time.
I think what I want you to find out as a journalist, find out the states where the leaders of the Middle Belt come from and look at this geopolitical zone within the country. If somebody from Adamawa is the president or the chairman of the Middle Belt Forum, then he cannot be the chairman or president of the North Central People's Forum. We have North Central that is geographically recognized administratively and politically, which is 6 states and Abuja.
But if we were to go to the politics of those days, like Joseph Taka, when he was actually seeking for the emancipation of what is politically known as the Middle Belt from the core north, I mean, he would have necessarily been including all these other parts, even Southern Borno, Adamawa, Taraba, and all of that.
Well, I think
because they're Christian minorities,
I think J.S. Taka's definition of Middle Belt does not extend to what is happening now.
That's because people say the North Central is a newer creation. This geopolitical zone has always been known as the Middle Belt.
But what is shared in the national appointment, everything is done according to the political zone. It's not done according to the Middle Belt. It's not done according to the position of Middle Belt. It's done according to the 6 zones, which is the North Central. And that is why David Umar come from North Central, becomes Senate President. That is why Saraki come from North Central, becomes Senate President, because it is zoned to the North Central. And no any other person from any other zone contested. But it's not zoned to the Middle Belt. If it is zoned to the Middle Belt, somebody from Adamawa can become Senate President, somebody from Sokoto can become Senate President. But that is not the definition of the North Central. We are operating within the 6 states and Abuja that is geographically recognized by every government that comes into power today in Nigeria.
And I come to you. What chances do you think that the likes of Bukola Saraki, Yaya Bello have, if you look at the, considering the huge weight of someone like Tinubu or Atiku in both the APC and PDP, do you think that even if any of these two emerge, that they stand the chance of the other zones?
Very well. Very, very well indeed. Both of them you mentioned, they have tested the waters. I mean, Yaya is a present governor. Senator Bukola Saraki has been governor 2 times. He was Senate President. What else do you need in terms of performance? They are as well qualified. Let me say this. First of all, we are not partisan. Any candidate, any of the parties brings in terms of their candidate is acceptable to us. So we are not going to meddle into their internal affairs of how the candidate emerges. No, we are not going to do that because we are not partisan. Number 2, let me say this. Middle Belt is supposed to be for northern minorities. That was the original concept by Taka, which we all respect, which was beautiful. When you are talking of northern minorities, where do you get northern minorities more than North Central now? The one in Kebbi, the one in Taraba, the one in Adama, they are very small group, but the major of it is here.
Good. Do you share the view of some people who actually said that the word North Central was actually brought in place by the northern elite to actually confuse the people of the Middle Belt, because we had a state that was not as North Central state before, which is now Kaduna, that comprised up until Katsina and all of that?
No, you see, I wasn't there when they formed this geopolitical group as an administrative convenience, even though it's not a constitution. But what I'm saying is that the North Central, in fact, the North Central name came last. I had the history, somebody that was there. When they said they grouped the Northwest states, they grouped the North, East states, then the remaining is North Central. They now think, they started before the result, look, this place is the center of Nigeria. Look at Niger and Benue River. Without it, no Nigeria. That's the truth. If you remove them, well, Nigeria is no more. So let us call it North Central, because it's so centralized to Nigeria, not even just to the north.
So why didn't we just call it Central Nigeria? Why did we have to add north to it?
Because we are part of Nigeria. You can't call it Nigeria because, except you want us as a country, and we said we want one Nigeria.
Okay, as we try to round off this conversation, don't you think that the people of the South will be thinking that your agenda is actually to stop them from emerging president in 2023? What sort of response have you been having? Okay, just hold on. Let's hear from Dikeson.
We are not stopping anybody.
Yeah, but your rhetoric, your statements have always been like your target is to stop the South.
This is what you have to understand. A king is being fought. Position of king is between two brothers. One, this person can contest. One, this person can contest. One, this person can struggle to have it. One, this person can struggle to have it. So it is their own view that they want to have it. And it is our own view that we want to have it. So we're not stopping anybody. But let Nigeria decide. The whole Nigeria should decide where their president comes from. What we are saying is that we from the North Central were also qualified to contest.
Even if you have the national chairmanship of the two biggest political parties later on, as we hear.
You see that that's an administrative...
Wouldn't it be unfair to other parts of the country? Because if you look at it politically, the way things are usually, the way power is usually
President,
any zone that has the national chairman of a political party wouldn't partake in the presidency, vice presidency, or senate presidency or speaker.
Excuse me, it's like you are against us in the North Central.
Well, not really.
You never refer to what happened before when Northwest was having chairman and president.
No, I'm only saying that in the spirit of fairness, don't you think?
Okay, the spirit of fairness was not there then? Or what are we talking about? What I'm saying is that, look, party arithmetic is quite different from governance. They're two different things. Yes. Don't put them together. I'm sorry. I mean, we know all these things. If they give us a choice, what do you want? Everybody will say President of Nigeria, right? How many times did Obasanjo remove chairman of party? Anyhow, like if he's removing his shirt or his agbada. So how can you count that for us? So for me, we have competent people in North Central to be chairman of parties, fine, and they're qualified. And as well, we are equally having men and women that are qualified to be president of this country, and we are, if we are talking of zoning, I'm not talking of your own zoning. Your own zoning is not south. I'm talking of zoning within the geopolitical
zones.
we are as qualified
in the
as any other
geopolitics that
zone.
we usually play, you know, we divide the country into two parts and then later on we subdivide it, which is called microzoning and all of that. But I want to read your statement to you in reaction to the Southern Governors Forum the other time, where you said Nigeria as a country needs a leader that will do the right thing, someone who is detribalized and a nationalist. Even if Northern governors come out tomorrow and say the presidency should be zoned to the north, we will say the same thing. It is high time Nigeria moved forward. Do you still maintain your stand?
Yes.
And why?
Because we have so many Nigerians that are qualified to be president. We have so many people that can change the fortune of this country from every zone, from every angle and nooks and corners of this country. Nigeria has a lot to offer. And I will say this, that they abandon everywhere. So when you throw it open and people contest, the best may come out. But what we believe is that whoever will emerge the president of this country will believe in equity, justice, and fairness, which is the bone, which is the beginning, which will not be in practice. That is the beginning of our problem today. All right,
and I'll also go back to that question that I asked earlier, which I wasn't satisfied with the answer. Why is it that when it comes to the turn of the South, the North seems to want to favor meritocracy?
Why is it that when it comes to the turn of the North, why did the South play the same? There is no time, all the time, when we said, okay, why did Jonathan contest after the 2 years completion of Yaradua? Why?
Because he was an incumbent and he enjoyed
no, forget about the incumbency, but he knows not their turn. But we agreed. And we voted for him, even though it wasn't right. Why is it that you have to come back to the North?
It was right constitutionally, but maybe politically.
No, politically, then.
I'm sure you're trying to say.
I've told you, ab initio, that I am not for zoning or anything. But since that's what we are hinging on and talking about, you know, but the best candidate should emerge at any time. That's my own. Number two,
very quickly.
This North Central, whoever that is going to be president of Nigeria needs to come to the table with us and say, look, do you really have North Central in your agenda? Okay. I'm talking the mind of all the North Central people.
Thank you so much. Khaleel Bolaji, General Secretary of the North Central People's Forum, we must thank you for being on the show. And Sule Dikeson, a former honorable member of the Benue State House of Assembly, we must also thank you for being on the show.